children.
Most of these children are orphans. Many others have been abandoned at birth because their parents were too poor to look after them. Others have been rejected by their family because they were female. They have all been taken in by RTU, a non-governmental Indian charitable organization. More than a third of these boys and girls are HIV positive. Amongst these, there are some who have already contracted AIDS, and the length of their life expectancy is uncertain. After these images were shot, 2 of these little girls died of AIDS. We are in one of the most isolated regions of South India. Successive droughts and devastating monsoons in recent years make working the land more and more unproductive. The cultivation of rice and the harvesting of coconuts are therefore the principal sources of revenue for the majority of small farmers. Many men are forced to abandon or sell their fields to go to work in the town, leaving behind them their wives and children. Despite the prodigious economic leap that India has recently accomplished, the gap between rich and poor gets wider and wider. Despite the efforts of government to come to their aid, in many places the lowest classes of Indian society live in conditions which are more and more precarious. We are at Ambu Illam, the first children's village constructed by RTU 30 or so years ago to take in orphans and abandoned children who up to then had no other choice in order to survive but to beg in the streets. The founder of this haven of peace, James Kimpton, is English. He belongs to the order of De La Salle brothers. Here, as in other villages since built by this unusual man, the children, orphans for the most part, or newborns abandoned at birth, are taken care of until their education is completed, and even until they have found employment or are married.
Basically, RTU started by brother to care for 3 or 4 children and mother in a small way. This is a natural growth, what RTU today is. Our main thrust area is children's village, children program. Children in difficult situation, we are giving them good living condition in a family care system. This is a children's village. It is 4 kilometers away from here. Every children's village has something around 20-25 houses. Each house consists of 7 or 8 children under the care of a destitute or foster mother.
The foster mothers, for the most part, have had very sad pasts. They have been chosen for their sense of discipline, their experience, their moral attitude, their great generosity, and their human qualities. To be even-handed, all the houses are identical. Each family has the same advantages and the same equipment.
We are trying to keep the children at a rural level, village level, not town level, or even in Western level. You see very little of Westernism in our work. It's important that the children, say in the children's villages, the children sleep on the floor on mats. There are no beds, there are no tables, there are no chairs. In the villages, they don't have these things. And the children have come to us from where they've come, they don't have these things.
Here, there are no social privileges. Whatever their origins, the children are brought up on the same principles and benefit from the same teaching.
Most of the children that come into our care have come from backgrounds which have been really, really traumatic. We have several children who have seen their parents commit suicide in front of them by burning themselves to death. The mother and father were always having fights in the house. So one day the husband came in and he had a can of kerosene and he poured it on the woman and put a match. So she went up in flames. She was carrying a little boy. That boy is with us now. He's grown up now, but he was covered with scars all down that side of the body. She had to drop him after a time. And the door was locked with all the other children, other 4 children, inside the house. Then the mother grabbed the husband. So the children saw the mother and father going up in flames. Can you imagine what psychological effect that's had on these children? We are getting many children coming to us who are babies, very many newborn babies, some saved from female infanticide.
As soon as we know the mother is pregnant, when the baby is in the mother's belly, we want to know if it is a girl or a boy. If it is a boy, we are mad with joy. If it is a girl, we are much less happy. Why this difference? We are in the midst of marching towards a new world. Men and women have the same capacities. However, at his birth, the boy is placed in a pretty cradle. If it is a girl, she is thrown away into the rubbish. How many mothers abandon their girl baby in their bed after their birth? They go away, leaving them where they lay. Tell me, where is equality between girls and boys?
If any child comes to RTU, we'll first take their case history about their name, date of birth, and their father, mother, what is the problem, why they are going to admit here. This type of interview conducting with the concerned person, with the child.
Some who are orphan babies that have the mother and father have died, many more now from AIDS and HIV. And the babies come into us. As much as possible with these special babies, we try to get what is called a surrender certificate from whichever relatives bring the child to us. We don't give for foreign adoptions because I know from experience when the children grow up, especially into their teens, they realize they are not foreign. They're not Swedish or American or English or French. And they want to find their roots. There's enough demand in India now from couples needing a baby of their own. And they like to take the baby as young as possible. And the strange thing is that many of them want a girl. Most of them, in fact, 90% of those coming for adoptions want a little girl. On one side, we have the problem of where they're killing baby girls. On the other side, we have the couples coming who can't have children and they want a girl. Their argument is the girl will take care of us later on when we are old. And so it's working out very well right now. The adoptions are going nicely. This baby was found abandoned in the big hospital in Madurai. So we don't know anything about, we don't know date of birth or the parents' name or where from. What they call a cradle baby. They have these places where they can leave babies, those they don't want. And because she's a girl, it's one of the cradle babies. So now she came to us. Now they have to sign these documents. We give them all the documents necessary for them to do legal adoption.
This couple could not have a child. He is a commercial director, she is a teacher. The preliminary interview has been judged satisfactory. This adoption will afterwards be validated and made official by the Indian authorities.
One thing that I realize very much with children coming into our care, new children coming to our, especially small children, they're still missing their home conditions. They're coming from very poor backgrounds. They're coming from a community that they are used to and have been living with, coming into an entirely new situation with entirely new people into our family care system. And I know very well that most of them are missing a father figure. And so when they first come in, the little ones tend to cling to me because I am the most obvious father figure in the area, in the work we're doing. And so they tend to cling to me quite a lot. And we've told the mothers in our children's villages that they must never stop a child coming to me needing a hug, needing consolation, needing somebody that will show some affection. And so after a month or two, this fades away. The child then feels secure, has got used to the situation, and will stop clinging. Will even stop coming to me, except the usual relationships we have.
To wash more than once a day is more than a moment of relaxation. It is an absolute necessity in tropical countries. All the houses built by RTU have a room for washing in. Every day the mothers spend a long time inspecting their children's hair. For the girls to do their hair before going to school and coming back from class is an unalterable ritual. These sessions always take place in the utmost good humour. Turn and turn about, each one gives him or herself to the hands of their brothers and sisters, which have become skilled at the art of hairdressing. For these orphans, these sessions of daily hairdressing are almost the only physical contact they will have with an adult. These privileged moments of tenderness undeniably help towards their mental balance.
We have children that really needed psychological care for quite a time, needed counseling and support. And we know also that a lot of this then sinks down into their psyche, and when they get into their teens, their early teens, it begins to rise up again, remembering their past things. Then we have to help them again all over with counseling and psychological treatment, etc. A lot of our children, I should think 80% of our children have had really bad experiences in their lives. But now they're settled down. You wouldn't think it if you meet them. They're happy and content and like normal children.
There are regular recreational sessions organised for the youngest. Those children who want to can take part in drama lessons. Teaching of Bharatanatyam, the classical dance of South India, is part of the curriculum for the girls. Mothers are working in with RTU, with their own children. She is
very poor and pathetic. She also very poor and pathetic condition, and deserted. Husband may divorced her and settled with another lady like that. So mothers are being working together for the sake of children and adopting our rules. This is our RTU Children's Village manual. We prepared ourselves. If any new mother will come, we'll give it this manual to read this, and then we'll ask some questions and everything. Here there are so many contents we bifurcated, like our aims and objective of RTU Children's Villages, and then how we are selecting children, and then daily routine, and then they are having their own grocery shop, how they are getting material, food materials and items, and then getting of milk powder, and then gas cylinder, how they can manage themselves like that. They are operating bank account also, because we are providing 550 rupees per child per month. Excluding that, we are providing her salary also 880 rupees per month per mother. This family belongs to Mrs. Veeramani. Her name is Veeramani. Saranya is one of her own daughter, only one daughter. So she is taking care of HIV, antiretroviral medicine, and she is taking care of this child perfectly, like other mothers doing. So now she is feeling better. For the past 1 month, she was having like this mum, like that. Now only it is disappeared. She is getting better now. So this Ramatilagam, he is Kalaimani, a bright and intelligent boy. He is the children's leader in this village. He is a very good boy. He also lost his father. Mother also a HIV patient who died 2 years back. So his sister and he also become orphan. So he want to become a computer engineer.
துடிக்கிட்டு வந்துச்சு இந்த இடத்துல. இங்கே வந்து பிரதர் இடத்துக்கு வந்தனையே உயிர்.
Before being admitted to RTU, the idea of suicide obsessed me. I constantly asked myself if I must continue to live despite the ill treatment by my husband, or if it would be preferable to die. They entrusted me with this child, a girl. She was ill. Since I arrived here, they have given me work. Everything is going well now in my life, my health, and that of my girl. I am deeply attached to the little girl they entrusted me with and who has AIDS. I never forget to make her take her medicine morning and evening. Sometimes she and the other children I care for do silly things, but I refuse to scold them. I sincerely wish that this child, ill with AIDS, could be happy. All the other children also have the right to happiness, and I hope they will not have to confront all the difficulties that I have had, and they will never suffer as much as I have suffered. I bring up these children the best I can so that they are in harmony with themselves and that they will be able in their turn to be of service to humanity like Brother James. In making themselves useful and helping others, they will then truly be able to be proud of themselves.
Once every month, while the children are in class, the foster mothers from different villages get together to share their worries and their thoughts. During these meetings, James Kimpton gives them support and encouragement. Here he compares the education which the mothers must give to the children in their care, with the efforts that a weaver must make to obtain a cloth of good quality. For Brother James, a mother must not be sad, because if she is, the child will also be sad. Brother James also often repeats to the mothers that the most important thing is the love given to a child.
Before you make another turn with the child.
At RTU, there is no difference between boys and girls, and that is very important. No discrimination. Everyone is equal. Men and women have the same rights. When I think of the appalling existence that my husband made me undergo, in contrast with the miserable conditions in which most women like me live, I am aware that I have been enormously lucky to have been accepted here. Since my arrival in RTU, I feel that I live again. In no case must the children suffer like we have suffered. Together with Brother James, we wish to be able to welcome even more children in need. We too, in a certain way, are orphans. The sufferings and privations that we have endured make our will even stronger to help them, and we feel happiness in looking after them. I am there to try to replace the parents they have lost. I try to make them forget that they are orphans. I take on the role of both father and mother at the same time. And these children give me the impression that it is true. In exchange, I have had the opportunity to recreate with them, and thanks to them, the atmosphere of a big and true family. Much love and affection links us to each other.
Once they complete their studies, once they are capable of carrying on their own, we are putting them in our hostels. Currently we have 3 girls hostels and 1 boys hostel.
I was brought to RTU when I was 3.5 years old. My mother died after I was born. Since I've been here, my father has visited me. On my arrival, I was placed in a family, and I have had a truly very happy childhood. After having been at school in RTU, I was sent to a hostel to pursue my studies. I teach Bharatanatyam in RTU together with other subjects when it is necessary, and I'm very happy with this. Not long ago, I was made responsible for this home for young girls. I have fun with the children.
She's not much older than the 30 girls she's in charge of. There is a good relationship between her and her boarders. She is more often considered like an elder sister in whom they can confide and with whom they can be more relaxed than with a supervisor whom they must obey. Each room houses 15 boarders. The only luxuries are the fans when they actually work, because power cuts are frequent. In the dormitories, there are no useless pieces of furniture. Each child has a pigeonhole to keep her personal things in. Despite the very strong ties which bind them to their adoptive family, many of these college girls are happy to be together. No more household tasks, no more small brothers or sisters to dress every morning. Every weekend they can, if they wish, go back to their family, and they therefore have the chance to remain in permanent contact with the children amongst whom they have been brought up. There is no break, and it will be like this until their marriage.
நான் மைக் பேசுற முடியல ஹலோ செக் முடி லூஸ் ஆகி குடுறாரு அடிச்சே போயிடாது விருது போட்டு போன முடியல என்னன்னு பரிச்சல முடிஞ்ச வர ஒண்ணா சொல்லிச்சு தரம் சூப்பரா
All the children pursue their studies in the 4 schools of RTU. To ensure equality, wearing uniform is obligatory for all pupils, even those who come from outside. At the beginning, the children of neighbouring villages who were educated in RTU often came wearing ragged clothes, which were often threadbare. They felt inferior to their comrades who were wearing impeccably washed and ironed uniforms. It was therefore decided once a year to distribute a free uniform to each child coming from outside, so that there would be no distinction between them and the RTU children. Here, there is no question of showing off famous brands of T-shirts or shoes. Everyone is in the same way.
Yes. Things are more than 2 things are superlative. Superlative.
Those who are eligible candidates for our children's village, those who are very needy, we are putting them in our children's program. Those who need only financial support, but family, parents or other relatives are capable of taking care of them, we are having one another program is called home sponsorship program. Around 150 children are getting benefit out of it, with the one condition, that is the children should continue their education. So with that one, we are giving cash every month. It starts from 500 to 1,000 rupees based on the number of children in a family.
All pupils have access to computers. John, teacher of IT, was one of the first orphans to be taken in to RTU.
Once they complete their studies in our school, we are putting them in different external boarding schools. Boarding schools including long distance schools, professional colleges, everything they are continuing their studies. We have remarkable achievements.
And one finished her doctor degree and appointed a government appointment in a government hospital. She joined, and one is getting ready to come to join in RTU doctor. There are so many paramedical workers. Today one engineer came here. There are so many children are benefiting through RTU.
Mother asked me, why don't you do marriage? Then I said, yeah, I have none and I have nobody. It is you people have to arrange for those things, I said. Then she said, okay, we will do it, we will arrange it. And then she said, why don't you marry our girl, my girl Gauri? Then I said, okay. And during my marriage, I didn't ask any dowry. But anyhow, brother gave what all he has to, he ought to do on a time of marriage, when a girl is given in marriage in RTU. So he did everything. I'm very, very happy with my children and with my wife. And to tell about my wife, she is so compassionate with me, and she is so innocent in all, to say. I consider her more than a wife. She is my best friend, to say, and she is my counselor. She is my, what to say, everything. Because I know about her totally, right since the beginning, how she was brought up in the family.
3 வைஃப் எங்கள் அப்பாவுக்கு 3 வைஃபில் 3வது வைஃபுக்கு தான் நான் எங்கள் அக்கா.
My father had 3 wives. I am the daughter of his 3rd wife. One day, after a violent quarrel with my father, my mother took poison and she died. I was 6 months old.
அம்மா வந்து பாய்சன் சாப்பிட்டாங்க. பாய்சன் சாப்பிட்டு இறந்து போயிட்டாங்க.
All our marriages in India, it is the father who decides the marriage. They're called arranged marriages. Very, very rare do we have love marriages. Although with us sometimes our children are marrying among themselves in the children's villages because they know one another, they've been living together with one another, and that works out beautifully.
We select the bride. Is he properly getting any income? Is he having a family relationship? Is he alone or having family?
We will discuss everything about the marriage, where it's going to be, when it is going to be, even exactly what time it's going to be, because in India we have auspicious times. I have to act as the father.
During their marriage settlement, RTU is taking care of that wedding ceremony and giving dowry also. Because in Tamil Nadu, everybody getting dowry. Yeah, without dowry, nobody else marrying here. But in RTU, there is a fixed amount. 25,000 estimate we are giving. Giving like this gold jewelry and saris and cot bureau, like that.
After the ceremony, parents and friends, as well as members of RTU, are invited to a meal. According to South Indian custom, food is eaten off banana leaves.
From the beginning, they are brought up by brother and got married and having their children, coming back again as a family. He is the father, having so much children. Brother very often using, I am having 1,000 children without a wife. It is a joke for others. No? Yeah, it is real. He is father and mother. So in religion, in Hindus, Lord Shiva is Tayumanavan. So he is the mother and also he is the father, Lord Shiva. Yeah, we are believing Brother Kimpton also like Lord Shiva. He is the mother, he is the father. He is the only man to do all, giving life for so many people here in this area.
Om Namo Bhagavate Danvantraye Amotakalashastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trilokanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namah Chankam Chakram Jalokam Dadam Dragatam Shatobi Shatobi Sukshma Svachatirudyam Shakapavyasam Maulimam Bhujanetam Kalam Buddha Ujalangam Katitatavyasa Charapitam Baladam Vande Danvantarintam Nikilagadawana Praudadavagni Nilam Devendradaptya Vidyam Sakalatamrutam Sanukam Pantam Pantam Shishyam Agnivesham Digasumetimatam Shaktamadi Payantam